Hello, and a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today at the Zero Practice Manager Implementation Workshop. My name is Mark, and I'm a partner consultant with Xero. I'm based here in Singapore, and I'm joined by my wonderful colleagues. We have Howie and Stephanie, our Xero veterans who work closely with our partners in Singapore, Malaysia, Hong Kong, and the rest of Southeast Asia. Our partner consulting, Ananya, who leads our team across Asia, is currently sitting in Brisbane, XeroCon. We are so excited to be with you today. This implementation workshop is all about Zero Practice Manager, or XPM, and we are here to help you unlock its full potential for your firm. This session is recorded, and we'll be sharing it with you once it has been uploaded upon Xero Central. Now, let us go through today's agenda. Let's start with and take a look at what we'll be covering today. As you can see, we have a packed and very practical agenda. We have structured this workshop to be as hands-on as possible and useful as possible. First, we'll kick things off with a quick introduction to Zero Practice Manager to give you a clear overview of what it is and how it can help your firm. After that, we have not one, but two live demonstrations. My colleague, Howie, will lead the first demo, showing you how to create and manage cases within XPM. This is about the day-to-day workflow, the practical steps you'll take to track jobs and tasks. Then, Stephanie will take over the second demo, where she'll dive into the settings and configurations of XPM. This is where you can truly customize the platform to fit your practice perfectly. Following that, we'll have a quick mini quiz to recap some of the key points. And lastly, we'll wrap things up by outlining some next steps and resources to help you continue your implementation journey. And then we'll open the floor for a Q&A session to answer any of the questions that you may have. During the sessions, please pop your questions into the Q&A box and don't ask questions anonymously, as this will help our team follow up with you after if you need any additional clarification or assistance. Our team will try our best to answer your questions. With that, let's get started with a mini icebreaker. So, next. So, today, I'm really curious to ask, what is your favorite show on Netflix today? Please list all your questions within the Q&A box. Oh, seems that we have no answers so far. Let me check. Oh, Squid Game. Thank you, Howie. Oh, Bon Appetit, Your Majesty. Ah, this is one I've been looking forward to. Okay, I think I'm probably going to be pretty busy this weekend. Is there any others? Beyond the Bar. Oh, Beyond the Bar sounds exciting as well. Doctor House, Doctor House. Oh, okay, okay. Well, looks like enjoy Good Witch with my daughter. Interesting. All right, sounds like we have a pretty good set of questions. They are all look really exciting. Looks like I'm going to be pretty busy this weekend catching up on all the Netflix dramas. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's continue on with the webinar. We'll be going on to the XPM introduction. We'll kickstart off by going through about the types of implementation that's going to happen with XPM. When it comes to getting started with XPM, there are two common approaches to implementation. First, there's the self-implementation model. This is where you and your team takes the lead using the resources we provide in Xero Central to get everything set up. This is great for firms who are happy to manage the process themselves and have utmost clarity in the usage of XPM and their own resource management workflow. Second, there's the guided implementation model. This is our recommended approach, where our team of partner consultants works directly with you on the implementation of XPM, and it is only by invite basis. They help you scope up your specific needs, configure the system to match your workflows, and provide tailored resources. This is ideal for firms who want to get it right the first time, to save valuable time and ensure that they are leveraging the full power of XPM from day one. The best approach depends on your firm's specific needs and resources. We are here to support you no matter which path you choose. Next, we'll go through understanding what are some of the key challenges that your firms face in a day-to-day operations. Running your practice can be difficult. We have heard from many of our partners, just like yourselves, that running a practice today comes with a unique set of challenges. In a dynamic market like Southeast Asia, where firms are juggling everything from corporate secretarial services in Singapore to tax filings in Malaysia, these pain points can feel all too familiar. Let's talk about some of the most common issues we see. The first is tracking and controlling deadlines. Juggling different clients with different deadlines, all managed on individual calendars or spreadsheets, can quickly lead to a missed deadline. Without a centralized system, it's easy for things to slip through the cracks, which can result in penalties and, more importantly, can damage client trust. Next, balancing workload. Another major challenge is balancing the distribution of workload. It can be difficult to see who is available and who is overworked. This can lead to some staff feeling unfairly burdened, which impacts morale and overall efficiency. Visibility on job progress. We also hear about the struggle for visibility on the job status. When a client calls to ask about the progress of their annual tax return, having to manually check on an Excel sheet or asking a team member for an update can be inefficient and time consuming. Then there's managing codes and invoicing. Many firms to this day are still using Word or Excel to manually create their invoices. This is not only a slow process, but it makes it difficult to track profitability and ensuring that you're always billing accurately for all the work that you do. Another thing we hear from firms is the ability to analyze practice performance. Many partners inform us that it's a constant struggle to determine which clients are actually profitable. They often rely on intuition or rough estimates, only getting a full picture after the invoice has been sent. This leaves them stuck with frustrating questions like, is our monthly bookkeeping service really making us money? Or are we spending too much time on a non-billable activity on a specific client? Without a clear dashboard, you are making decisions based on guesswork, not data. This makes it impossible to manage your firm's profitability and grow strategically in the long run. Last, we have manual processes and digitalization. This is one of the massive pain points that many accounting firms have. Think about how much time your team wastes on manual tasks that could be automated, such as chasing staff for timesheets to see how much time they spend on a job, tracking job progresses using spreadsheets such as Gantt charts or physical whiteboards, and needing to follow up emails from staff and clients. To summarize, all these manual tasks are a major bottleneck. They are slow and prone to errors. They prevent your team from doing the high value advisory work that your clients are willing to pay for. It's an internal problem that directly impacts your firm's profitability and efficiency. The good news is that these are precisely the problems that XPM was built to solve. Now, let's take a look at how XPM helps. Okay. So, how does Xero Practice Manager solve these problems and transform your practice? It all starts with putting all your work and data into one place. XPM allows accountants to run their businesses with all the tools they need in one place, including, but not limited to, project and customer management, invoicing, and much more. You can also track every minute for all your employees. With XPM, every minute spent on a job is tracked, giving you a clear picture of whether your employees' time is being used effectively and efficiently. You can enter the time by duration or by using start and stop times. This data is crucial because it allows you to compare the time spent against your budgeted hours and ensures that you stay on track and maintain profitability. After which, there's real-time business insights and reporting. Run standard reports, customize reports, and build your own using the XPM software. A keynote that we'd like to let you know is about the integration with Xero. The integration with Xero is a huge advantage as you can create the voice invoices within XPM and then it's automatically pushed to your firm's Xero Blue account, updating your general ledger and your customer's existing contact information. This connected workflow saves you time and eliminates double handling. You can also create standardized processes and workflows with all the tools you need in one place to manage the needs of your clients. Last, you can plan workloads and have greater visibility over your practice, manage your employee schedules, and allocate workloads to your staff easily, making it easy to manage jobs and overall be more efficient with your practice. Now we'll take you through the glossary of some of the XPM terms you'll be hearing throughout the workshop. We'll be going clockwise from left to right. So the first one is jobs and tasks. A job is or assignment is something that a practice has agreed to do under a client service agreement. For example, monthly bookkeeping. A task is a set of to-do lists for a particular job. So, in essence, a job is a collection of tasks that make up a project or client engagement. Next, we have time, billable and non-billable hours. The time that the staff spend working on client engagement hours falls under billable. For non-billable hours, they are examples are internal meetings, administrative tasks, and these are time that will not be billed to your clients. We also have roles, job roles. You can assign them to the respective person in charge. We have partner roles, we have manager roles, and we have staff roles. Partner roles are the people who are the final reviewer or the overall owner who is accountable for the job at hand or for the client's progress. You can assign it to the partner, but if not, the typical use case for this field is actually the person who reviews the work, the last reviewer. Then we have the manager, the person who does the work with the staff. You can think of them as the first line of defense, as the first person who will review the work before it goes to the partner. Last, we have the staff who will do the work assigned within the task list, the to-do list. Next, we have time. We have milestones and due dates. For milestones, they are used to mark important dates, deadlines, and deliverables, with examples being AGMs, tax filing deadlines, client meetings, or project reviews. The milestone section will show the task with deadline in a 2-week snapshot. Then we have due date. So due date is, as it says, is the deadline for each task or job's due. Lastly, we have work in progress. There's WIP washup and WIP write-off. WIP washup is where we allocate the total invoice value to the total time and cost on the job. For example, if we have invoiced more than we have time and cost on the job, we will recognize that as a write-up on the job. Whereas vice versa, for WIP write-off, if we have invoiced less than the total time and cost inputted into the job, we will then have a write-off on the job, on the invoice. Combining all this, we will then take you through a look at what the XPM process looks like for your firm. Now, this diagram illustrates the core journey of a client engagement, moving from a code all the way to a final report. Quotes. It all starts with quotes. Instead of drafting proposals in Word or Excel, you can create professional quotations directly within XPM and email them to your potential client with a single click. Once the client accepts the quotation, you simply mark it as accepted within XPM, and this automatically kickstarts the rest of your workflow. From there, it naturally flows into jobs, where this is the heart of XPM. You, as the user, can define the scope of work and break it down into specific tasks for your team. This gives you control and clear steps to complete to-do lists, which directly addresses the challenges of seeing a job's progression status, and everyone within your team will know exactly where things stand. After you have completed the job and finished the to-do list, we'll then move into invoicing. As work progresses, XPM helps you manage your work in progress, where you can easily review all your WIP as shown on the slide. You can make decisions to either do a WIP washup, to invoice a billable job for the work done up to date, or a WIP write-off for any unbillable time. This helps you capture all billable time and manages your cash flow accurately. Last, we have reporting. All this data that you gather from the beginning till the end feeds into reporting. This is where you gain powerful insights into your practice performance. You can analyze profitability by client, by job, by service, or by staff, and get a clear picture of your resource management, directly addressing the key challenge that we addressed earlier. As you can see, XPM provides a comprehensive end-to-end solution that centralizes your entire practice workflow, moving you away from manual processes towards a more integrated and efficient way of working. All right, now let's dive into the 3 main types of client engagement and how you can manage each one effectively within XPM. First, we have the annual service agreements, or ASAs for short. This is for your clients who pay a bundle or fixed fee upfront for a range of services over a set period, usually 12 months. Our best practice is to create one single job for bundled service packages and separate different services, such as financial statements, tax returns, or even monthly bookkeeping. Listing this or annual bookkeeping, listing this as separate tasks. This approach simplifies managing deposits and tracking productivity and job profitability. Using one job with multiple tasks is the best practice that we recommend from Xero. Next, we have recurring jobs. These are for the clients who have ongoing repeating engagements but are not on a fixed annual fee. Think of services like monthly bookkeeping, GST filing, or payroll. With this model, you set up a repeating job template within XPM itself, and a new job is automatically created for each new period. This is perfect for firms who bill on a service or time-billed basis each month. It is an efficient way to make sure that no job is forgotten and your billing is always up to date. Lastly, we have ad hoc jobs. These are your one-off non-recurring services that don't fit into the other two categories. This could be anything from a one-time company registration to a business valuation. For this, you simply create a code and a job as you go. It's a simple, direct approach for managing unique projects. By identifying and categorizing your client's work into these three types, you can streamline your workflow in XPM and ensure that managing each client relationship is the most efficient way possible. All right. Now we'll let you look at some examples of how XPM can manage your ongoing client engagement. On the left, we have the ASA model. This is where you can create one single job for the entire year that covers all the services for a client. And on the right is recurring jobs. This is often the preferred method for firms that have a high volume of recurring work. Instead of one annual job, you can create a new separate job for each service period. My colleague, Howie, and Stephanie will take you through further in the demo later on. Now, let's see at some testimonials from a partner who has implemented XPM for their firms. As you can see, we have a partner who has had a wonderful experience in using XPM. XPM is ultimately designed to simplify your workflow, gives team leads better control, and provides the insight you need to boost profitability. Candy has also ultimately mentioned XPM has helped her to save 10 plus hours each month and has increased staff productivity by up to 30%. With that in mind, I would like to introduce my wonderful colleague, Howie, who is always so helpful and attentive in everything that she does. Take the floor, Howie.
Thank you, Mark. Let me just quickly share my screen. Just 1 second. All right, I think everyone can see my screen. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Megan, for your introduction. My name is Howie. I'm a partner consultant based in Hong Kong. So now let us give you a solid foundation to show you the value of XPM, how that can bring it to your firm. So we will start off with a live demonstration that we will walk through two common accounting scenario so that you can see exactly how to handle those common scenario in XPM. All right, so everyone meet Cynthia and her team at AC Business Consulting, a firm of 10 staff, and they are meeting weekly to stay updated on the client work. Without a dedicated practice management tool, the team struggle with common challenges as following. First, time tracking. It is hard for the staff to accurately track their hours, making it very difficult for Cynthia to monitor efficiency. Staff often say things like, I think I spent around 4 hours on that bank reconciliation task, but I am not entirely sure. And second, job profitability. Cynthia doesn't have the data to confirm whether the job is making profit or not. So that will lead to some concern like, the fee is so low for this client. Are we running a charity? And lastly, the deadline, which is more painful, is that missing deadlines. So poor tracking of the job can cause missing deadlines that can create panic moment like, oh, I completely forgot about this deadline and I don't have the capacity to get it done right now. Well, XPM for sure can solve these all challenges by implementing XPM. Cynthia's team can have a better control over the time tracking, job profitability, and then the project management, so that it can lead to a more streamlined and efficient operation. I will demonstrate XPM capabilities using two of AC Business Consulting clients, which is Durian Delight and Auntie Helen Carry Me. So this example will show you how to handle different workflows on the XPM platform. So let's go ahead with our first client, Durian Delight. So this client, they have an in-house finance team, but then they need an accountant to review their books and handle annual compliance like tax. So AC Business Consulting, providing them a bundle service agreement that include bookkeeping, financial statement preparation, and tax filing. So this is a one-off annual job that we set up at the beginning of each year. And then we have the second client, which is Auntie Helen Carry Me. So their situation is a little bit different. Her long-term accounting staff have recently resigned that create a need for urgency for accounting support. So this client decided to outsource her entire accounting function for Cynthia's team, requiring monthly management account regularly and report as well. So this is an ongoing recurrent engagement. Well, just to refresh everyone's memory, a moment ago, Mark provided a very helpful overview of different engagement types just now. And the first two engagement type can match with the two clients that we are going to provide a service to. First, the annual service agreement. This is the type of the arrangement that we will have with Durian Delight, which that we provide a bundle service for a year-long period based on a predefined agreement. And second, which is the recurring job. This category covered ongoing engagement, like the monthly bookkeeping service that we are going to provide to Auntie Helen. So let me just quickly switch my screen so you can see XPM in action. All right, so I am now on the XPM screen and I will be landed on this dashboard once that I logged in. For example, when I log in as a staff member in the team, so this is my personal view showing my time summary, productivity, important dates to do for this week. First, we are going to handle the job for annual service agreement, which is the project with Durian Delight. So let me just go straight to the job manager. So this job manager shows a full list of the jobs that are under AC Business Consulting. And now I will go ahead and create an annual service agreement for my client, Durian Delight. So let me just click on the create new job on the top right. So the first step is to select the client that you're creating the job for. For this case, I am going to select Durian Delight from the drop-down menu. Next, we have the job template. So job template reveal a list of predefined templates that can help you to standardize your job description, milestones, and tasks, and many more. So this will save you time and reduce human error. For this client, we will select the annual service agreement, annual bookkeeping, FS, and taxation. Once that I have clicked that, selected that job template, you can see for the description and also for the job name, it automatically pops up the default settings for the name and the description. So we can easily to customize this. For example, let me just add the year in the description so that to make it easier to identify. And moving on, you can set up the budget. For engagement like this, you can enter the agreed fee that your client accept, which is $2,160, for example. And next, define the job day. You can define the start day. I'm just going to put on January 2025, and the due date for this job is the end of December this year. And then you can also have the ability to highlight the priority of this job as well. For this case, I am just going to choose normal. Finally, assign your team member, select a partner for overview, select a manager for daily supervision, and then you can select the relevant staff to do the actual work. So once that you're done, click Save. And now you will find that the job number 75 annual service agreement for Durian Delight has been created. To access the job information, you will find the summary, including the client, the job name, key dates at the top. And if I scroll down, and I will see two sections here. So the first section is the milestone section. So these are the key dates for tracking the job progress, and they are pre-populated from the job template. For example, a milestone for collecting signed engagement letter is being set for 2 days after the job kickstarts. So you can customize those milestones as you need. And moving on, we have the task section. So this section is where the team member that they need to make sure that to get all the tasks done for the job. For this annual service agreement, we have 3 tasks, which is the bookkeeping, annual financial statements, and then with the tax return preparation and filing. For each task that you get to see the estimated time, which can also be preset from the job template. While the actual time will fill up as your team log their hours. So how do staff members to log their hours for the timesheet and for the job? And it's very easy. So let's just say I have finished a task for a job, and on the top right corner, you'll get to see a timer icon. Click that, and then to open a quick time entry level. From there, the staff member can click on the plus sign icon and to enter the time that they spend on a specific task. So let's say, for example, the task, the staff member has worked on some of the job, like for 47, and then they have worked on the task for tax return. So they spend 30 minutes on a tax return for this job. So once that the duration has been added, and then you can click Save to record the time. So the staff timesheet is now logged, and then the actual time for the task will be updated accordingly. Beyond the time tracking, XPM also allows you to record job-related cost. In the Cost tab, in the job, you can enter expenses to bill back your client for out-of-pocket expenses like printing or software costs, delivery costs, etc. Along with the description, cost amount, and the unit price, so that you can fill those information in. So once that you have filled in those information for the cost, and then you can click Save, and this cost will be included on the client invoice. As Mark mentioned that we only recommend using the one single job for bundle services package with multiple tasks, because this is going to be the best practice for tracking overall job finances or time more accurately. Now, let's move on to our second client, Auntie Helen Carry Me, which require us to provide a full set bookkeeping service for them on a monthly basis. So now we are going to set up a recurring monthly engagement on XPM. So we just go back to the job manager, and then we can click on recurring on the tab. So once that you are on this page, you can simply click on the new recurring job on the left corner. So this will create a job that repeats automatically. For instance, that we have already got one set up for Auntie Helen. So I'm just going to click on that recurring job that we have set up already and see how that works. From there, you can set the repeat frequency to 1 month, because that we are going to provide the monthly bookkeeping service. So you can define the next job creation date, and then you can also set the end date depending on your engagement with your client. And then we can enter the standard job fields like the client, the content, and then the job template field, which work exactly the same way as the normal job creation workflow that we just ran through. And in terms of the job name and then description, I would like to highlight one really key cool features. Because the job is going to recur once every month, and then we need to avoid the confusion with the job name and description as well. To tackle this, you can use the placeholder as I highlighted here. For example, for this job template, repeating job template, I am just going to put the naming convention as bookkeeping and then adding a placeholder month -1. So that means that when the job is being created, and then it will automatically insert the previous month name, making each job name will be unique. So the same method can also be applied to the job description as well. Once that you are happy with it, and then you can save it. Okay. So I would like to take you through back to the job manager and to show you some of the example for the repeating job that we have set up for Auntie Helen. So as you can see, for job number 38, scrolling down, 38, and then 39, and etc. When you get to see some of the month is being populated in the job name, these are the repeating job that we have set up, and then the XPM will using the placeholder to define different month to separate it, to segregate the different types of the monthly job. All right, so next one that I would like to go through with you is the invoicing. So as we need to collect the fee from our client to maintain the healthy cash flow. So now let me just go to invoice my first client, During Delight. For annual service agreement with During Delight with this client, that the common practice for accountants will be creating the progress invoice for an upfront payment around like 50% as a kickstart the deposit. So let me just go back to the job number 75 that we have just created. So as I mentioned that we'll charge for 50% of the payment to kickstart the project, and then by the end of of our project, and then we'll be collecting the remaining 50%. So to do that, we can just go to locate the financial tab in the job. And you can see there is 2 buttons here on the left-hand side, which is the progress invoice and the final invoice. So for now, I am just going to click on the new progress invoice to kickstart. All right, so we can, in the invoice type, we can enter the half of the project cost, which is $1,080 in this text box. So that will be the fee to kickstart with the project, and then we can define the date of the invoice. Make sure that you are going to select for the pricing model as the fixed price. And scrolling down, once that we are happy with the invoice information, and then we can click approve. So now the progress invoice has been issued, and then the client has paid for it, and then I can just kickstart with the job. So fast forward to the end of year, and I have completed all the tasks and logged all my time for the job. So we can call this project as complete after we receive the remaining balance from our client. So it's time for us to issue the invoice to collect the final balance fee from our client. So I can just return back to this financial tab and click on the final invoice. And as you can see that previously that we have already issued this progress invoice, and now that we are going to hit next to issue the final invoice. And as you can see, the invoice information will be automatically populated in here as well. And then you can see the interim fee has been also listed on here as like a write-off for the invoice. So there will be remaining of around $1,177.20, including with the GST. But of course, depends on whether or not that your region has GST or not. I know that some of the partner are actually from Hong Kong and there is no GST, so that we can definitely do the settings saying that there will be no tax for Hong Kong, for instance, during the implementation process. Okay, so it's pretty much the same workflow as creating the progress invoice. For final invoice, that I also, once I'm happy with the invoice, and then I can click approve. No matter it is the progress invoice or final invoice, once that the invoice from XPM has been approved, the invoice itself will be synchronized into Xero real time for accounting purposes. So let me just switch to Xero to have a quick look. So now I'm on the invoice page on Xero, and you can see invoice 56 and invoice 57 are the two invoices that we have just created and approved and sent it across to the Xero from XPM. So let us just go through with the 57 invoice to see what it looks like. Okay, so we get to see the full information of the job that we are providing for our client, the annual service agreement with the financial year end date, along with the line item for the bookkeeping, annual financial statements, and also with the tax return filing as well. And minus for the kickstart fee for half of the project, half price of the project, which has been listed on here. So this will be the remaining balance that my client need to settle. Because now that it's the invoice is going to be on Xero, and what you can do, you can leverage the Xero feature for invoicing, like the automatic reminder. And also you can connect with payment services like PayPal or Stripe for faster payment collection. So ultimately, this will lead a better cash flow and to have a more accurate, up-to-date records, all without a single extra step. For the recurring job, you'll be using the same invoicing method for your monthly invoices, depending on how your billing cycle is like. If you are to collect a deposit to kickstart, you can just follow what I did to issue the progress invoice first and then final invoice before finally handing over back to the client. But then if you collect the fee in full in one go, then simply just create a new invoice in XPM with a full total amount in full. All right, so let me just go back to the XPM. I want to touch on briefly about the staff capacity, because staff capacity is not always about client work. It might also include some of the annual leave that your staff will be away and not available to work, and maybe some of the internal tasks like internal meetings that are not billable to the client. To get an accurate picture of your team's available time, we'll have to set up two internal jobs in the job manager. So let me just scroll down of my screen and you can see job number 6 and number 7. So job number 6 is the time away leave for your staff to record any leave that they are taking. And for job number 7, which is the admin non-billable time, this is the job for the staff to log for internal time that's spent for team meetings, etc. By logging in all non-billable hours here, you will have the true overview of your team's capacity in XPM. Lastly, I would like to go through a little bit on the work in progress dashboard. So this dashboard gives you an immediate, clear overview of all uninvoiced jobs, instantly showing you how much the value is waiting to be invoiced. So this will help you to monitor your practice financial health at a glance. So we can definitely explore this deeper during your one-on-one implementation session with our partner consultants. All right, so that concludes our XPM action for two main types of jobs. So let me hand it over to Stephanie to cover the best practice to set up the XPM platform. Over to you, Steph.
Okay. Thank you, Hao Yu, for the great demonstrations about how we use XPM on the daily case for our clients. So I will show my demo about the XPM setting. Give me a moment, I will share my screen. So today is about the XPM settings, and let's jump to the demo. So we will go through the best practice setup for XPM practice. Setting connect with Xero, tasks, cost, job, staff, clients, and reports. So once you log in, you will always land on the dashboard. This is the unique to me as a user. So each staff member will see their name. So on this case, I have my name, Stephanie, and my time summary and the relevant job and tasks for the current weeks. This helps keep the employee focused on their capacity and the productivity. On the time summary, the gray bars are my expected capacity for that week, the hours that I work on each day. We can customize for each employee. For example, I work 7 hours in every day. Some part-time staff only work 4 hours, so we can definitely customize the capacity hours on the daily works. And the color bars reflect how much time I have entered again that expected capacity. Green, as you can see from here, is the billable time, and red is the non-billable time. For example, I had a meeting with my manager this week that I won't be able to bill to that customer, and yellow is the capacity reducing time, such as public holiday or annual leave that I apply yesterday. So yesterday I applied 2 hours of leave, so I key in as the capacity reducing. And we also have the productivity wheels that show how productive I am for that particular weeks. And we have the important dates. So this, the 2 weeks calendar shows key relevant dates of job, tasks that I'm specifically involved in, making it easy for my team to keep track of the due dates, deadline, and also shortcut to click into the job and tasks. So for example, today I have job 31 that I need to do. I need to post all the journal entries. And tomorrow, job number 21, I need to complete the job because it's the due date. And Friday, it has another reminders, is a milestone that I need to send a report to the clients. So it one is work like your calendar or the Google Calendar on that particular week. Let's move on to today's job. So today's job, we also identify my tasks for today and review my schedule for the week so I can prioritize my work effectively. So today's job, what is my this week's schedule looks like. So it gives you like a snapshot. Now let's go up. I will go through the client tab, which is next to dashboard. There is a clients. Let's click on the clients. So the client tab contains a list of all your client details that sync with your Xero HQ. So it doesn't matter if your client is not using Xero, but they already add your Xero HQ as address book, it will flow to the XPM automatically. So when using XPM for the first time, there is no need to upload all your contact manually. Contact details will automatically flow from Xero HQ. On this page, you can create save filters to filter down your client list. So click on your clients, there is a drop down, click and we can create a filters. So for example, you want to separate your client grouping by company, by individual client who just do the GST or the annual filings, you can create a filter. Let's move on. Now let's take a look at one of the client's detail, how detailed we can key in the information. Let's pick up the Auntie Helen Karimi. So when navigating to the client detail screen, you can instantly view the client's profile. For example, we have the phone numbers, we can have an address, relationship with the clients, along with their jobs, invoicing, and the WIP in progress. We can also add additional information by clicking the option and click edit. We can add the custom field to capture any information you like to hold on client, such as director to or additional client notes. So we click the additional information. We have director to, for example, or additional client notes. So custom fields allow you to store additional data against various places in XPM, and we can create report based and filter off this field. These are completely customizable to your business needs, so you can set up this up at the practice level when implementing XPM for your practice. So for example, I don't like to key in director to, I have other custom field, we can definitely set up at the settings. So we just save or we can just cancel if we don't have any information to add on. Now let's go back to dashboard again. I will go through jobs. So from jobs, we click on the jobs. Sorry, is the security thing? Give me a moment. So now let's continue from the job. Let's click the jobs manager. So this is my favorite place in XPM is the job manager. Job manager is the place to see and manage all our job. Which jobs are visible here will depend on the staff user access selected. The managers and accountant in your team might like to use a filter function to filter down the job list. There is a lot also report that can be tailored to show the relevant jobs for the relevant people. So where is the filter is on the right. So we have a lot of option to filter down this job. For example, we have client, states, who is the manager, partners. So for example, we can filter out the job based on the states. Where is the states? I would like to see which job now that I need to review. We can click for the review. So they give me the list. These are the job that I need to review for this week, for example. or we can filter down using a different whose staff are working on the job. So for example, Stephanie, what Stephanie working on. Let me clear my states. So these are the job that I'm assigned to. So we can use the filter to make it easier. And we have the create new job. When we have a new engagement, we can click on the create new job. So how you just now show how to create all the new jobs, we can just fill up all the required with the asterisk we need to fill up. At the same time, we can use a template to make it our job is to make it our work is not so repetitive. So we can create a template on the settings. So this is how we create a job. Now let's move to the business and then settings. So this is the business tab, is where you will find tools to manage your operation, including quotation, timesheet, subscription, settings. So today I'll be focusing on the settings section, which is one of the most crucial part of setting up your XPM account. Let's click on the settings. Now there are 3 sections on settings. As you can see, we have a lot of settings, but don't get confused. So on the left, we have start with practice. Practice setting is where you can configure staff access, costing, and both practice and job settings. So we have practice, client, job settings. And at the top right, you will find features which include custom field. Just now when I show the contact, when we create a custom field, we can key in on the address book. So this is where we need to key in the custom field. We can have job notification that we can set up for the staff. For every new job coming, any changes, we can do the setting notification from here. And we can have custom print templates for job and invoices. The next part, the last one, is at the bottom right, you will find the connection section where you can manage integration with Xero, document management tools like Google Drive, Dropbox, and we can have with the others apps that can connect with XPM. At the bottom, we can have export and imports. So when you have your clients, suppliers, job that you need to import from your previous workflow system, we can use the CSV, so you don't have to key in manually. So this is the overall settings. Now I would like to go through in details on the practice setting. So from the business setting, we comes to the practice settings. At the practice setting, there is a lot of details in the settings section that may be hard to follow during this workshop, but don't worry, we will email you all the screenshots so you can easily refer to them when setting up your XPM account. The name box should be auto-populated with your practice name. However, you can change this if you want to update your practice name appears in XPM. You can then select your time zone. So I choose Singapore is correct. Then we have an information box where you can enter any other practice information. We will recommend entering your company name, address, and any contact details. This information will appear at the top of quotes and invoices, so it's useful to update this information. So now let's move to the task and the cost heading. So this box are the task, cost, and option headings that you will see that this heading matches with the setting name, and we will recommend keeping them as they are, as this is what we'll be referring to as we go through the workshop. So task, it means like we can create other name if you like to prefer. For my demo, I'll put services, and for the cost is called disbursement, and option adding is just option. So we can still make changes after we key in one time. Now let's move to the clients. Moving on to the client heading, we have the option here to show the postal address for our client within the client list. If you would rather see the postal address in the client list, simply click this box. If the postal address is blank for that client, then this will appear as blank on your client list. So we will recommend not to tick this box, just to ensure the main address imported appear on the client list. So we can untick this one. Let's move to the business practice setting cost. In the markup percentage box, you can enter a default markup for all costs recharged to your clients. This can be overridden when you are creating costs within a job. So don't have to worry if you do have multiple markup. This is just the company default settings. Then we have a drop down. The next one is for the decimal places. Should be used for rounding off calculated unit price when you create a new cost. We have 2 decimal or the 4 decimal point. Next is billable. If all the costs added to a job are billable by default, then we will recommend ticking this box. And as like previously mentioned to me, if on the invoices some costs are not billable, we can still make an edit on the invoice or the client level. Let's move to the financial part. The next section is financial. The tax name and tax rate that you are set up here are the one that you want to appear on your quotes, invoice, statement, and report within the XPM. Therefore, if you don't plan on issuing quotes within the XPM, you can skip this section. This is because we recommend issuing your sales invoice to the client from your Xero organization. And if you don't want to update this section, enter in the description of any text you want to appear on quotes along with their relevant rate used to calculate the text. So for example, you can still have the flexibility to add on the description. And we can choose the financial year end. Let's move on to the log dates. So it is possible to set the log dates within the XPM. We would recommend leaving the log dates off during the setup to allow you to set up your XPM account without any potential restrictions. After we done the setting, feel free to log so no one can make changes. So now let's move to the job section. So this setting is optional. You can just leave as it is. For default, you can choose plan in progress. We can have the default template. We can leave it also empty. Now for the invoice states, we can also choose complete or invoicing, but for the invoice states, mostly is completed. And my job list, you can choose current week only or all. So this one is different on everyone's preference. We can choose. And the next one is the task invoice rate. So we have staff billable and task billable rate. So staff billable is the best practice when we need to bill the client. So I choose the staff billable rates. So the next one is just the invoice. We default invoice type. We have actual, quotation, estimate time. So we can still change when we want to bill the clients. We can choose the actual time or fix. So this one, you don't have to be worried. And the payment terms, we have 14 days. We can key in the 14. So it will show on the invoice, default percentage. When you want to quote value, we can put the 50. But if you need to change to 20, we can still do it. And KPI dashboard is, for my working KPI is 7.5, but we can have another settings that you can set up for individual employee. Payment advice with all these detail quotations. We can set up how many days is valid when you send the quotation from XPM. So we have the reports format, the timesheet we can choose with all these details. Once you have all this detail, just click Save. Now let's move to the business. Go to the settings. We're going to the client settings. So the client settings are used to manage and customize details related to your clients. So it helps us define how client data is handled and structured within your practice. We can find the client setting option under client contact details or address book. So when you set up the XPM, it comes with default like club, company, corporation, but we can still add on the business structure. So this business structure is just the additional information that we can add on. We can also have the client types that you can add on to have any client type that according to your practice, and we can have the markup, we have the payment terms for different clients type. So now let's move to the business settings again. I know it seems boring, but it's quite important when we need to set up the XPM. Let's move to the job settings. So job setting is now under the job category. Job category are a way to group various types of job, whether this be for reporting purposes in XPM or to map to your tracking categories in Xero for further reporting capabilities. So we can add the job category. For example, you offer advisory, annual service agreement, bookkeeping. We can still add on more job category. We can add all the detail from here. Next is the job states. So moving on to job state, you will notice that XPM has already included some of the job state for us, but we can still make changes. So the first state is plan, progress. We can change all the wording. This one is like, I have like 10 job states. Maybe for your practice, you only have 8, or maybe you have more. You can still add and remove. The last one is the job template. So this job template, it help us to save you type on job creation, also give the consistency across your practice. The contain predefined information such as cost, tasks. So when you set up a new job, it's already set up with those standard items that you have created. We recommend that you set up a job template for each of the services that you provide to your clients. We can add the job template, but I'll just show you how the job templates look like. So we create a template for annual compliance. I will add description. So the job category that we need to set up earlier, it will show in here, is it part of the compliance, bookkeeping, or annual service agreement? We have the job cost or actual or estimate. We can add the milestones. At the same time, we can add the task. So every time we have this job, we don't have to key in manually because we already pre-set up all these tasks and the milestones. So you can click on the yearly bookkeeping, for example, and at the same time, we can add the to-do list. So when we have the to-do list, we can click all the to-do list for our staff to make sure they do the job for each task. So we can save. So now let's move on to the business. Go to the settings. Move to the task. So if you want to use the task rate for billing purposes, you will need to key in all enter in the relevant rates. So base rate is the cost to you as a business, and billable rate is the cost to a client for its task. Setting up task rate is useful when preparing quotation in XPM. So we need to key in the base rate, billable rate if we want to send a quotation in XPM. That's for the task. Now let's move to the setting for the staff permission. We go to the business, go back again to settings, and choose staff. So this one is like what access we would like to give to our staff is to manage your staff cost, and billable rate. So I'll choose my name here, Stephanie. So we have to tap information and the permission. So for the contact details, I can fill up all this information. We can choose financial performance. I will key in how much my base rate and how much billable rate that I need to bill to the clients. What is my KPI dashboard? Is it partner? Is it fee earner or working status? Currently, I'm still working. And we go to the custom task rate. We can leave it. And the next one is permissions. So in permissions, we have general, jobs, that which access would like to give. For general, are we going to give the access to me to view all the client, edit, create, and delete? It has all the capacity to access. Jobs, we have all this detail we can give to our staff. So I'm sure for manager and the staff, we have different roles. It seems a lot, but I have all the notes that we will send after the workshop. So you can just follow the notes, which one need to give, for example, for the accounting manager, what is the best practice access for the staff. Next is the finance. So you want to limit the finance access for your staff, access financial data, unit price for the jobs, quotation, approve invoices, suppliers, financial reports. And the last one is the practice administration. So this one is like your Xero HQ, who is your practice administrator. We can also give the access on different things, manage staff, manage standard costs, all these details. And you can save. So next, let's go to the business. We're going to go through the costs. So this is where we can set up the recurring costs that we can incur on behalf of client, or for example, either to recharge them or simply to track the full cost of the job for our practice. So for example, I have my Xero subscription that I'm going to charge to my client. I can key in under the cost. So every time you want to bill, you can choose from this invoicing, and then you already have all these options that we already key in for all the costs. So we have the unit cost, we have the unit price. Let's now move again to jobs. Sorry, business settings. Now let's move to capacity. Is our last demo for my setting part. So this is all my the staff that working at AC Business Consulting. We have Ananya, we have Stephanie, we have Howie, and everyone has the capacity, has different capacity on a daily basis if you have. But if for me, I have 7 hours of working on a daily basis, you can put it 7, 7, 7. And what is my productivity? We can, so this information will push to the XPM dashboard. And at the same time, we have to set up the capacity reducing job. So this one is for the leave. We can key into the capacity reducing. We can save. So that's for the left side. We are done with all the settings. And this one is the custom that you can go through individually, but the most important one is all on the left. And once you are done, we can connect with Xero. So all the information will be synced from XPM, from Xero Blue to XPM, XPM to Xero Blue. But do the connection later on after you're done with all the settings. So we withdrew all the setting, which is important to have this taken place before the XPM goes live. So I hope the XPM settings demo will provide you with a better understanding of how the setting works. So now let's do the recap. 5 steps for creating jobs. We need to key in the budget when we create the job. We need to choose the job category. We choose the partner, manager, staff, and also tasks are scheduled. To closing a job, all tasks are completed, all costs are entered, all invoices are captured. whip was up have been done and complete the job. So this is the 5 steps to create and closing job. So we can get the full report, not just halfway, but this is the complete step to get from the start to the end. So I'll pass back my time to Mark.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephanie, and also to Howie for your fantastic demos of XPM. We know that you'll always be in safe hands when having you two by their side on all the firm side. Now, to get everyone all excited about XPM, we're gonna have some fun. We will have a little quiz game, and you'll see 4 questions around XPM on the pop-up screen. And feel free to choose your answers within the poll. Now let's begin. Launched. Does everyone see the questions? Oh, please feel free to put in the chat box. Okay. All right. Does everyone see the questions? Okay. I am assuming everyone is able to sit. So, oh, we got our first answer. Okay. Question number 1. Which feature of XPM gives you an overview of all ongoing client jobs and deliverables your team is working on? Is it job invoice? Is it job manager? Is it timesheets? Or is it expense claims? All right. Oh, nice. Okay, giving it a couple of more seconds. All right. So the answer to the first question would be job manager. Well done for the majority. For those that pick timesheets, just to let you know, timesheets would fall under the subset of a job manager. This is where you key in the hours for the work that you have done for the job assigned. So the job manager gives you the ability to see every single status or the job progress of your client jobs and also the deliverables your team is working on. Question 2. Which of the following is not a feature of XPM? Is it direct text filing, create quotations, timesheets, or reporting? Well, the correct answer is direct text filing. Well done to the majority again. For those that pick reporting, we do actually have the reporting feature within XPM itself. You can use the reporting feature to study about your staff's your firm's profitability, the staff's effectiveness, as well as how much resources you have accrued for each job. Next, benefits for accounting and professional services firms. Which of the following is not one of them? I'm glad most people picked number 3. Understand depreciation of office equipment. Yes, XPM is a resource management tool. It does not have the abilities to calculate depreciation of office equipment. It can understand staff productivity. So for those that picked the wrong answer, please take note. It is possible within XPM. Last but not least, which feature in XPM helps to mark important dates for jobs such as deadlines and deliverables like client meetings or project reviews? Wow, it looks like this is quite spread up. The answer looks across evenly across all the rest. Well, the correct answer for question 4 would be milestone. The rest are very important features, but it is milestone that helps you to mark important dates. You can see that in the 2-week snapshot within each job settings. You can click and pick out your important deliverable dates such as AGMs, deadlines, and text filing dates within the milestone feature. So for the rest who have picked the other features, maybe during our guided implementation one-on-one session, if you need more clarification, please work with your partner consultants or please refer to the resources that we'll be sending over to you. Thank you for this quiz session. We'll be ending this poll. Now, we'll be going through the next steps. We have covered a lot of ground today, and we are hoping this little workshop has given you a clear picture of how Xero Practice Manager can transform your firm. The journey to becoming a XPM Pro doesn't end here. It's just the beginning. We want to ensure that everyone here has all the resources you need to get started. Here's our suggested plan to help you implement XPM in your practice. Number 1, review the follow-up email with resources. After this workshop, you'll receive an email from us. It will contain all the resources linking to XPM and on what we have discussed today, including links to Xero Central articles and as well as templates to help you begin with setting up your account. 2, complete the XPM course on Xero Central. We highly recommend you and your team to enroll in this free course. It's a fantastic way to gain a deeper understanding of XPM's features and functionalities at your own pace. 3, schedule an advisory session with a consultant. Our team of partner consultants is available to help you. You can schedule a session with us to review your setup, get feedback, and address any specific questions you have. This is an invaluable step to help ensure you're leveraging XPM correctly from the start. Last, start setting up XPM. To help us better understand your needs, we would like you to answer a quick poll for us. Let me open it once more. All right, I've launched a poll. Everyone, please go back to the poll and help us answer. Do you want us to help with the basic setup of XPM that is commonly used by Asia partners? All right, getting most answers in. All right, it looks like it's a majority yes. We'll give it a few more seconds before we can end it. All right, I'm gonna end the poll right now. Thank you for your answers, everyone. It seems like everybody wants assistance with that. We'll be working within the team to get back to you on this matter. Now, to conclude, we'd like to open the floor for everyone to ask any questions that you may have. You can submit your questions through the Q&A box in the Zoom toolbar. Thank you.
All right, so let's take a look on, is anyone would like to ask any question? Feel free to pop your question in the Q&A. Okay, so we got question from Athena. The first question is, can the staff see their hourly rate or other staff rate, or only the partner or manager can see? That's a very good question, Athena. So in XPM, that in the settings, part that Stephanie just covered. So we do have a wide range of the permission setting to tailor to, like, you can set up different staff permission role based on what you need. So if you looking at the screen right now, the step is actually sharing the permission. So inside for each of every staff, that as a manager yourself, you can actually go into different area of the permission, like general, jobs, financials, and also practice administration, so that you get to toggle on or off different type of the permission, so that you can determine what do you want your staff to see and what not. That's a very great question. And make sure once that you have toggle on and off the permission, make sure that you save these settings, okay? All right, the second question is how to set the currency for XPM. Will the currency reflected in the Xero Blue invoice? So Steph and Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. So because that you'll be using you have your own Xero Blue account, which is the Xero accounting practice account that you'll be using for accounting
Yep.
purpose. So the XPM will follow the base currency
Yep.
of that of that
Yep.
setting in your Xero practice account.
That's correct, how you?
Yeah. Okay, so the third question from Athena, accounts reflect in the Xero Blue invoice for each line. Will we need to change ourselves? So Stephanie, if you can
Yep.
help me to go to the Xero, or go to the
Xero Blue or Xero?
Xero Blue.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, going back to the invoice itself.
I need to change to AC Business Consulting. Okay, it's okay then. Hold on, how you need to change to the AC first.
Okay. Well, while Stephanie trying to navigate back to the account, then I can just voice over the answer right now. So because in the settings for each of the the job or task in XPM, that you also get to choose which which of the account that you would like it to be integrated into Xero. So let's say, for example, if you have a job like for bookkeeping, and then you would like to integrate it into the dedicated chart of accounts in Xero for accounting purposes. So you can definitely set that up in the the Xero in connection settings to give the instruction about, like, okay, for bookkeeping service, I would like to go to this account. We call it as accounting interface.
Please.
So if you are like we would suggest that you can finish with your foundation setting first, like the fundamental setting, and then lastly, that once that you got everything set up in XPM, and then we can work with you in terms of like connecting with your Xero account, so that we can make sure that you're actually proceeding the right way for the connection that we would recommend. Yeah, but definitely yes, it is a yes. You can definitely reflect
Change.
and to reflect different accounts in the chart of account based on your different types of the service that you're offering. You're welcome. And
okay.
Yep, Stephanie, would you like to
Okay.
go?
Yeah, so for the next question from the Pretty, I have a question. If we are doing the course for XPM, is it also help in the Xero Advisory certification, or this is separate certifications? So for the XPM, we don't have like Xero certification. We have a course. We have the course at Xero Central that you can take. It will take you to the settings, like all different steps. So you can definitely take the course, but it doesn't provide, like, after that after you take, it doesn't give you the Xero certification, like the hard copy or like at the Xero's HQ to prove that you have passed, but you can still take from the Xero Central. Then, Next one is we need to issue invoices by different firm, but in one group we have tax advisory, auditing, accounting for independence purposes. Can we handle it in our XPM practice platform? So how the XPM classify for the tax advisory, auditing, accounting? We can use the tracking categories to separate out all these. So for example, I have the accounting, tax at sales, and we need to categorize with the tracking. So the tracking categories will also sync from the Xero account to XPM. So we can choose using the tracking categories.
And
Then you can
Stephanie,
add.
I also would like to add on to this as well.
Mhm.
To your questions, Adonis, it would really depend on how you set up your company for different different teams. So for now that we recommend that one XPM account which that you are eligible to have the free account for as a part of the silver partner benefits. It will synchronize it can connect to one Xero account. So one XPM to one Xero account. So we currently don't support for one XPM account synchronized to multiple Xero accounts. But then we can definitely take this offline and then to see what will be the best practice in terms of your situation and how that can be applied and also execute that in XPM. Yeah, so we can definitely take this offline. Okay, so there's one more question from Judy. Is there a limitation for user for XPM? So if you take a look on our website, it says it will be free for silver partner or above to use XPM, limited to 10 user. But the answer is that let's say if you have more staff that you would like to use XPM so that they can go into access to XPM to log their timesheets, etc. And you can still potentially allow more staff to be invited into XPM once that you have raised a case on Xero Central to ask our billing team to allow more staff to can access to XPM into your free XPM account. Hope that answered your questions. All right. While we are waiting for more questions to come in, I also would like to highlight two questions through text earlier, during the section. So Prateek asked some questions related to the invoicing. So her question is so this invoice, like the XPM invoice, can be also sent to client. Will it be auto integrated to the company account? And the answer is yes. So Stephanie, if you don't mind, I'm just going to replace and to share.
Let me share. Yep.
Yep. So this page of slide that actually showcase to you how the invoicing works from XPM and how that can synchronize into Xero. So as I mentioned during the first part of the demonstration before, so once that the invoice has been initiated from XPM and once that we have approved that invoice from XPM, and then the information of the invoice will be automatically synchronized into Xero, which is on the right-hand side of the screen. Yeah. So after the data and also the information is being in the Xero platform, so that you can start off with different you can leverage the different function of the invoicing, like the online invoicing, online payments that you can connect with PayPal or Stripe, and then potentially that you can also enable the automatic invoice reminder. So if you have been using Xero for quite some time, that you should also be quite familiar with all this really popular and commonly loved feature of e-invoice, the e-invoicing invoicing function in Xero. Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight this so that everyone is also aware of that as well. Let's see if there's any more questions. So also got a question from Athena. User in XPM will not have access to Xero Blue, right? Yes, correct. So the user permission between Xero Blue and then the XPM is actually separate. Yep. So you can definitely set up different stuff that if you only want that person to see XPM information but not Xero Blue, definitely can do that. So our consulting team will be able to assist you and to you kind of like setting up the permission, giving you some advisory on the permission right in our one-on-one implementation sections. Thank you for your questions. It's all very good questions. All right. Seems no more question coming in. Oops. Yep. I think, Mark, we can wrap it up.
All right. Okay, thank you very much, Howie and Stephanie, for answering those questions. We see your utmost professionalism and wealth of knowledge on XPM. I believe all our partners here will be in good hands during this XPM implementation journey with the both of you. So, once again, thank you very much, everyone, for attending this XPM implementation workshop. We hope you had a great session with us. And if you need any more assistance or have any more queries, please remember to reach out to your partner consultants. Thank you for this morning and have a great week ahead. Bye bye.